Have you ever held on to something for so long that it became heavier with every passing day? A mistake, a broken promise, a memory that refuses to fade. You tell yourself you've moved on, but deep down, you're still carrying it. Sometimes, it's not the pain itself that breaks us, it's our refusal to release it. In a small, quiet village surrounded by soft green hills, there lived a young man named Leo. He was known for his strength, his energy, and his laughter that could brighten even the dullest morning. But lately, Leo had changed. His shoulders drooped, his eyes seemed tired, and his smile no longer reached his heart. Each morning, before sunrise, Leo climbed a steep hill overlooking the valley. He carried a backpack filled with stones. Not just any stones, each one had meaning. One for the mistakes he had made. One for the promises he had broken. One for the people he had disappointed. Every stone was a memory of something he couldn't forgive himself for. At first, the bag was light. But with each passing day, he added another stone. One more regret. One more guilt. One more what if. And slowly, his steps grew slower. His back bent lower. The climb that once felt like exercise became a punishment. One morning, as Leo dragged himself up the hill again, his old grandfather sat by the roadside watching him. The old man's eyes were calm and full of wisdom, the kind of eyes that had seen enough of life to understand its hidden patterns. "Where are you going with that heavy load every morning, my boy?" the grandfather asked. Leo sighed. "To the top of the hill, like always." "What's in the bag?" Leo hesitated before answering. "Just stones, but they remind me of my past, the things I can't undo." The old man smiled gently. "And why do you carry them every day?" Leo's voice trembled. "Because they belong to me. I made those mistakes. I have to live with them." The grandfather nodded slowly. "You're right, they belong to you. But tell me this, does carrying them make you better? Does it make you stronger?" Leo looked down, silent. The answer was written all over his tired face. "No," the old man continued softly. "It only makes you weaker. The lesson of a mistake is learned the moment you acknowledge it. After that, carrying it is not wisdom, it's punishment." That night, Leo couldn't sleep. His grandfather's words echoed in his mind. He thought about how long he had been carrying that weight, not just in his bag, but in his heart. The guilt, the shame, the endless replay of moments he wished had gone differently. He realized something painful yet freeing. He had been climbing the same hill every day, not to grow stronger, but to keep his pain alive. He was trapped in a loop, one that he had built himself. The next morning, Leo returned to the hill, but this time, something was different. The wind felt warmer. The birds sounded louder. And as he reached the halfway point, he stopped. He opened his bag and picked out the first stone. It was small, round, and gray, the one he carried for his first failure. He held it tightly and whispered, "I did my best." Then he dropped it to the ground. The sound was soft, but it echoed like thunder in his heart. He took out another, the stone of disappointment. He had disappointed his parents, his friends, himself. He whispered again, "I'm human." He let it fall. One by one, he pulled out each stone. Regret, anger, shame. Each time, his shoulders felt lighter. Each time, his steps grew steadier. By the time he reached the top, his bag was empty, but his heart was full. As the sun rose over the valley, Leo stood there, breathing deeply. The air felt different not because it had changed, but because he had. He looked down at the path he had walked, the stones scattered like a trail of release. He smiled, for the first time in months a real smile, one born not from joy, but from freedom. His grandfather met him at the foot of the hill later that day. When he saw the empty bag, he nodded knowingly. "So," he said, "how does it feel to walk without the weight?" Leo smiled. "Lighter than I've ever felt before." The old man chuckled. "You see, my son, peace doesn't come when life gets easier. It comes when you stop carrying what's heavy." The hill was never your enemy, your memory was. That day, Leo learned a truth that many never discover. You can't move forward while clinging to what's behind you. You can't grow while holding on to guilt. And you can't rise when your past keeps pulling you down. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting, it's about accepting that you deserve to heal. It's not about erasing what happened, but about learning that your story doesn't end there. Every one of us carries stones, some visible, most hidden. But life is not meant to be a journey of endless weight. It's meant to be a climb where you learn to drop each stone as you rise. So, ask yourself today, what are you still carrying? What guilt or regret still lives rent-free in your heart? What memory do you replay again and again, even though it hurts every time? Maybe it's time to set it down. Maybe it's time to let go, not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more. You deserve peace. You deserve freedom. You deserve to walk without the weight of yesterday on your back. If this story spoke to you, share it with someone who might be carrying their own stones. Because sometimes, a simple story can remind someone that healing is possible. Let go not to forget, but to finally live. Because the hill of life is easier to climb when your hands are free.